Like a race car flight, but it ain't a car. It's a super fast tortoise going the speed of light, breaking all the
Even in space, a group of tortoises is called a creep. Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and trends that bend the senses. Let's get up, it's senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with super fast Tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow. Good vibes from head to toe.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Super Fast Tortoise Morning Coffee Show.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to the show. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Oh, my Lord. I hate it when you do that. Drives me bonkers. Not in a good way. What's up? We got Cane Shaker in the chat already going crazy. What's up, Cane Shaker?
Good morning.
Yeah. And thinking of Cane Shaker, we got all the things.
James Willis, Cane Shaker.
I shake my cane at the clouds with my fury.
That's right. We got Oscar. Oscar, what's up?
What's up?
Yeah, look at that. You guys are rocking and rolling, already rolling chat, ready for the topic of the day. But before we get to the topic, we got to introduce everybody. We got to introduce everybody to the crew. And that is, on my right, we have...
Time to rock!
We got the One Ray Man.
That's right. That's right. One Ray Man, what's up?
Happy Friday Eve, everyone.
It's
It's
Thursday.
not Friday, but it is Friday Eve.
That's right. That's hell yeah. Hope you got the energy for the day.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
that? On the far right, with the turtles image in the back, we have
MTG Hillbilly.
MTG Hillbilly. Look at that. Whoop, whoop. Yeah,
The sexiest man in Magic.
that's right. Trust me, I know, and he's taken off his shirt before.
Man, I about spit this Diet Coke all over this very expensive.
That's right. And with that, underneath me in the pain lab, boiling, brewing, we have
Tibalt's apprentice wins. Flawless victory.
It sounds like Tibalt's going to start a fight.
I mean,
Get ready. Dun, 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 dun.
And in the middle with the picture of the wolf, we have
Lone Wolf.
Everybody.
What's up? So excited that you're here. Whoop, whoop. See, I even sent him a copy of the script today or the thing today. Yeah. Usually he reads them as like, that's some good advice or that's something. I got nothing, no feedback from anybody yesterday. I was kind of like mind blown. I'm like, no.
I was exhausted, but I did save it. I did save it to a folder, so I'm gonna go back and read it.
Nice. We're gonna go over it today. But we can't forget the guy in the red shirt, the glasses, with that look on his face like he's reading something.
Okay, yeah, I was. I was reading chat.
We have
Moojin Fool.
That's right. There we go. Moojin Full. What's up?
Seem
Full house
lazy.
today.
It is.
I see my lazy eye is going and doing his thing.
No, sometimes it does, but we're good. We're good. Reading chat gets interesting when it builds up, when you can actually read chat. But hey, how are you guys doing out in chat land? How are you guys doing here in the show? I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We got a topic that we're going to cover. It's going to be a good topic. And before we get to the topic, we got some stuff to go through. Like for the first portion of the day, we're going to get to
Card of the day.
Mike and Leo Chaos in Order.
Oh,
Gosh,
yeah, this card's awesome.
this card costs 2 green, 2 white, a green and a white, whatever you mix it. Maybe a white and a green, I guess, if that matters.
Selesnya hybrid.
Yep, that's right. Celestia Hybrid. Legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle, 2/2. Whenever you put a counter on a creature you control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Right? No one hates extra card draw.
Yeah.
Nope, especially when you're probably wanting to put counters on stuff anyway. So this is just layers of synergy, right? Because you're wanting to put 1/1 counters on stuff anyway. So that's great. So you're doing that. You're doing the thing that you want to do. And not only are your creatures getting bigger, but you're going to get a card draw out of it.
Right? It's so good. And yeah, I did pull this card, and I'm like, maybe this card should go in the Turtles deck because we care about counters in that deck. And I'm like, hell yeah.
I have the show part of this that is 100% going in my upgraded deck.
Nice.
I mean, one thing I've noticed about the standard set and the commander set, so much synergy.
Oh, yeah.
You want to go full turtles, you can go full turtles and actually make a pretty good upgrades to the deck.
Yeah, there's kind of a joke in the Magic the Gathering community. You know when a set is bad is when they make a commander deck that doesn't focus on any of the abilities in the main set.
Well, this one focuses on basically all of them.
Yeah.
Not a lot of sneak in the commander deck, but everything else that this set wants to do, the commander deck does it great. It makes mutagen tokens. It plays a bunch of turtles. It puts 1/1 counters on stuff. The commander deck is very good.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty good. The commander deck is good out of the box. It's good. It's good. The cards in the set are going to upgrade it. It's pretty solid. I like it.
Yeah,
and I had fun with playing the deck. I had fun.
Yeah, but you know what's really weird is if you look at the picture, you see Hibbly's hands are at the forefront, grabbing at the turtles. You'd think there was a buffet in front of him.
Well, I thought it was all you could eat turtle meat.
Turtle soup.
Turtle soup.
Turtle soup.
Right there.
That's right.
There's 7 different kinds of meat in a turtle.
Oh, you're funny. Well, now it's time to get to the picture of the day. The picture of the day was sent in by Captain Waffles. He gets a picture. He went to a Dutch Brothers coffee shop and pulled up a tortoise picture and had to share it with me. And I'm like, this has got to be a picture of the day someday. So
That is awesome.
yeah, that is awesome.
It is awesome.
Turtle. I should copy.
I don't know what Dutch Brothers is, but it is cool.
It's a coffee shop.
It's a coffee place.
Yeah.
like Starbucks, but more or less popular.
But yeah, with that, my friend,
That's a cool looking turtle.
that is a cool looking turtle.
Yeah,
I like
it has
it.
sunglasses on.
Oh yeah, that's how you know it's cool.
Yeah,
And the hat's backwards too. That's
And
important.
the hat's backwards.
That's right. And for being a turtle, it has like a little ruff of hair coming out of the snap end.
yeah.
Yeah. Pretty chill. That's a cool one. I like it.
I'm betting some 90s kids own Dutch Brothers.
Probably.
I was
This
a
is
90s
peak-
kid.
This is peak 90s kids cool right here.
That
Yep.
is.
I can confirm this.
Mm-hmm. It's Felicity says spicy topic. Hell yeah. So let's get out of this picture of the day and anything anybody wants to talk about really quick before we dive into the topic.
I got
I'll tell you why I didn't get back to you yesterday is because we went to an open mic night for the first time here in, it's actually in Tempe is where we went to. But just for the heck of it, we wanted to see what the nightlife was and, had to ease our way into it. So we went there about 5 or 6. But anyhow, we went to a local open mic night. So that was a way for us to spend our evening.
Nice.
Did you do some spoken word poetry to ball?
No. We talked about that. We talked about I might be up for that, but it was interesting because everybody there came with a guitar, so it was ready to perform. Obviously locals and stuff.
Sure.
But I just thought about it. It's like, not enough people support local artists, whatever they may be, even if they're online. They don't support small content creators. So we were there simply for support. Weren't looking to do anything or whatever, just enjoy everybody else. So that's what we did yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
So you went to open mic
to go to
night.
a little place just outside ETSU called the Acoustic and did the same thing. I'd go once a week just to support the locals and have a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm surprised you didn't have a poem ready. I can imagine your poem. You're like, my love cuts deep into your body, your heart, my hand.
There's got to be a salt reference or two in there.
I cut deeply and pour much salt.
I salt your wounds.
So I mean, people that don't actually play with me and stuff must think I'm awful based on we talk about what I do. I am not that bad to play again. I don't think. Maybe I am.
No, he's not. If anyone has a chance to play a game with Tabal, I highly recommend it. Tabal is a blast to play Magic with.
Yeah, we just talk.
We just bust his chops.
We just talk to Baltup because he's always in the pain lab.
That's right.
And he's Tabalt's apprentice. Where else should he go with
exactly. What kind of choice was that? What mistakes were made to choose that path, right?
Right. Can't take us to Tabalt, and the missus should have sang Islands in the Stream.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he also could have sang The Gambler. Makes sense.
There we go.
All right, my friends, it's time to get to the show divider. Let's get to the show divider.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Welcome to Superfast Tortoise. This is a free show on YouTube. It is completely volunteer-based. This program is made possible by viewers like you, and share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And also by contributions made to your Superfast Tortoise channel and from viewers like you. You all rock. You are awesome.
You're crazy!
You are watching Superfast Tortoise.
Oh, man. So, theme and synergy is a topic today. Theme and synergy, game theory, kind of stuff. This is season 5, episode 30. And this is like the 6th installment to the game theory prologue. It's already posted up in Discord. Thank you, Cane Chicken, for posting the link there. If you want to download the whole series, it's free PDF on Discord. You can learn the game theory that we're talking about. And today is about theme and synergy. It's really hard for me to talk about theme and synergy because there's so many different themes out there. But I think I found the best way to generalize it. Hopefully. But we got a good cast and crew here of smart people, intelligent people, people who know better than me that we can talk about this. So let me get into the dialogue. What is a theme in Commander? Do we have an idea that fits a theme? What is a theme? Well, let's look at the theme in Commander and delve deeper into the theme meaning. Well, we usually look at a commander, we read the card, and we look for abilities that have a theme or fit a theme that we want. Then we look to see if commander has built-in win conditions. If not, we look for cards outside of that for the 99 that have a themed win condition most of the time. Now, but I digress. Let's take a step back and look deeper into what is a theme. A theme in Commander is the unifying of card mechanics and at its core. Like a creature type or a creative concept that defines how a deck plays and what it focuses on. Often centered around the commander itself, but not always. It ensures the 99 cards share a cohesive strategy and synergy, such as tribal, like elves, dragons, fairies, etc. Mechanics like landfall or spells matter, or +1 counters, or mechanics like Voltron, reanimation, or aristocrats. And if you don't know Voltron on aristocrats, Voltron focuses on building up a creature, making a creature tall and big to attack in for his lethal swing, and aristocrats about playing lots of creatures and sacrificing them for damage and goodies. Now, in short, defining a theme is going off the ability type or tribal-like mechanic or an idea that is based off a basic game mechanic like card draw, mill, discard, or previously mentioned types. Now, the theme goes deeper in Commander than basic gameplay. It is understanding deck flow. As we have covered deck synergy and theme synergy before, and how they should always meet in the middle, we want to delve into this more. For example, if running Reanimation as a theme, sometimes searching for cards in your library and tossing them into your graveyard seems upfront obvious, but running a kill spell that has an additional cost of discarding a card can push the theme much further, because having big creatures in your hand that have too high of a mana value to cast can be easier brought back from your graveyard than cast it. Now, another way to help deck flow in that way is if you have a card that lets you discard a card to draw 2 cards, that can also be really good in a graveyard synergistic deck. But now, sometimes themes is adding a spicy removal to your deck, like Repulsive Mutation, Green, Blue, and X, where you can slam down a counter spell and add X +1 counters to a creature in a +1 counter deck. It is versatile removal and can be solid at best and bad with no board state, but usable all around. Now, theme is finding cards that trigger, push, and add onto your commander's theme and or strategy. One thing people don't say often enough and emphasize enough is theme plus synergy equals efficiency. Now, theme and synergy goes hand in hand. Theme and synergy directly then tell you how to play your deck or build your deck. They give you direction both in deck building and gameplay. It is not a perfect solution in deck building and gameplay strategies, but are the tools to get better at both, understanding themes and synergies. Theme is following a path set by your commander. You just need to have paved the path with the tools this entire series has given you, like percentile pushing, systematic game design, utility conundrum, etc., on Discord. Check it out. Theme and commander is also finding balance in theme and flavor, where flavor is playing off the theme for a perspective that is creative and functional, but mainly for the pure enjoyment. Part of putting a theme together is putting little combo pieces together, pushing to add to the element of the theme you are applying and focusing on, and creative strategies that you look for, like synergies. Like the card of the day today focuses on +1 counter synergies. Now, when looking for synergy, I look for cards that personally work off the basic rules of the game, like playing a land, casting a creature, artifact, enchantment, etc., drawing a card, attacking, or something that I know is going to be common in my game of Magic the Gathering. That's just not everything. That's just one of the things I do. Because from my experience, it is harder to force a theme rather than naturally playing a theme. So adding those removal, ramp, and draw effects that work with your theme set you up for more success, because synergy, theme, and efficiency wins games. Now, so it's good to have win conditions that fit your theme 98% of the time, and that, my friends, is my version of theme and synergy and Commander Tortoise. And there's even a whole bracket. And thank you for being patient while I read that whole thing. Here's that little sticker. Theme plus synergy equal efficiency. Theme and synergy go hand in hand. Draw, ramp, and removal are just part of your deck. But you put them together if possible. Whoa. Anyway,
to answer a question that Tortoise asked at the beginning of that, the answer to how many themes there are in Commander is roughly 251. And I know this because I just went and counted them. I may have missed a couple, but it's roughly 251 different themes in Commander. And I know that covers basically everything, because some of those themes have about 2 decks in them.
Right.
So some of these are very obscure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
What stood out from what he read here and what I saw, because I had to print it out just to make sure that I got it the correct. What stood out the best and what best describes it to me is theme is the unifying of card mechanics. Mm-hmm. I think that's important, because I think you'll ask somebody what their theme is and they'll say, my theme is dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. My theme is dragons. Like, those are card types, but unless you support them, you're not that's not really a theme in my opinion. Right. I could be wrong, but that's the way I see it.
Well, sometimes dragons is a theme, and like my version of the deck, it's kind of reanimation or cheat them out into play, but it's not very like thematic. It's about playing big dragons fast and hasty.
But you support those dragons by being able, like you said, and that's where I think the theme comes in more than just because it's not just the dragons. It's about getting them on the field. It's about making them cheaper to cast.
Yeah.
That I think is where your theme in Commander comes in to facilitate them actually working, actually getting them out there to do something.
What? No, I'm kidding.
And you'll also see that so a lot of times you think that you'd want to focus very far in on something, right? Like on your theme. But some of the most powerful commanders in the format have multiple themes stapled onto them, right? Like let's look at Hearthroll, for example, right? Hearthroll is a couple of different kinds of decks built into one, right? Because of what it does. It's obviously either a landfall or a lands matter deck. You're going to go one of those two routes, right? But then it's also a sacrifice deck and a combo deck, just because that's what the commander wants you to do. And you don't have to go down both roads, right? You can just pick one road and focus on it. But if you go down both roads, it makes the deck so much better. If everything you can do is, if it gives you more options and they all work together, then that's why Hearthroll is one of the best commanders in the format. He's new, so he's not as popular as Atraxa, Markov, or some of the big flashy guys that have been around for a decade now. But Hearthroll is incredibly good. And one of the reasons is because you can go down multiple avenues in the same deck, and the avenues you go down they all still want to synergize together. All of them.
Right.
Yeah. If it rewards you for something that you're already doing, it's worth playing.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Landfall is so powerful, because you want to play lands, right? You never want to miss a land drop.
At least every turn.
Right. And finding those little 2-card combos can add up when you have like 3 2-card combos out in the battlefield. And when you play like a land or put a +1 counter or something and 2 different things trigger, that's really solid.
Yeah.
And you're also not going to draw.
In redundancy.
Yeah.
Somebody's listening to Discord.
Yeah. Someone's listening to Discord.
It's not me.
It is not me.
Not me.
Not me.
I closed my Discord out.
Mine's closed too.
I'm
What
gonna
the-
out just
Well, since everybody else said it's not me, there's only one of us left. How do I shut this down?
go to the arrow on the bottom right.
Arrow on the bottom
No.
right.
No.
I'm gonna see.
You just close your Discord. Go down, scroll down till your toolbar comes up. Then you click on your Discord, and then you exit out of it.
There we go. I think I'm out of it.
All right. Cool. Like, no, like I was hearing it. I closed mine. I had Kill Billy close his.
I closed mine just now, and I know.
Obviously, I didn't because there it went away again. What the heck?
I don't know.
Am I the only person who just uses the web app for Discord? Like, I don't actually have the app on my PC.
Same here. I do. I do that.
I got the app,
Nero,
but,
what's up? Good morning.
but I keep my notifications silent also.
Wow.
I just use the web app. I just use the web application. I don't actually have it. I have it downloaded on my phone, obviously, but on my PCs, I just go to discord.com.
Well,
I got to download it, but I just keep my notifications off. That way I don't hear that beep, beep, beep.
anyways, back on topic.
Yep.
Discord's not that important.
It is evidently because it's blowing up. I don't know what the heck is going on, and I don't know where to. How about I just do that? What if I just log out? How about that?
I put it on streamer mode.
All right, I think I killed it. Sorry about that.
You're good. You're good. It happens. It happens.
Well,
Right, Nero. Good morning.
Dragon
On
Hero.
topic, I think theme is a great place to start.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if you're wanting to build a new commander deck, I would highly recommend, like if you don't know what you want to play, if you're like, well, I'm really in the mood to build something that I don't, build something new, I highly recommend just going looking through the various themes and seeing if you find something that catches your eye. Maybe you don't, right? Maybe you don't see something that's straight off of theme that catches your eye, but maybe it does. And then if you pick a theme, then you can look at commanders that fit your theme, and start building your deck with all of the stuff that we've talked about.
Right.
I think theme is a great place to start if you're looking to build something and you don't know what you want to build yet. I think theme is a great place to start that journey. I think it's a great first step down the road to a new deck.
Right, because like one thing I think is important when you're looking at themes is building on your theme, then worrying about the removal, the draw, and stuff later. When building, like, don't leave them out, but like get your theme together, find out where you can fit your draw, try to put a certain amount of them tastefully in your deck. Don't run 18 board wipes like Tortoise does. But like, just run like get your theme down first and whittle it down, because there might be cards you just don't care about that you can replace with a removal spell or draw spell or ramp spell or something. Just play around with it. You can figure this stuff out. The better you get with bad deck building, the better you'll be later on. But as a beginner, just focus on theme and go with it. Because I think that's what you want to learn with. That's like I was watching. Like, ironically, I was watching game nights before the show because apparently someone doesn't do his morning streams anymore. I was watching game nights and they had 3 board wipes and they're complaining about 3 board wipes. I'm like, 3 board wipes? That's
only
right.
Wow.
That's rookie numbers, but still. But like they were playing their decks, they're getting the themes out, they were exploding, doing all the different things. Couldn't finish the game because of timing, but it was fun. Run at least 3 board wipes in your deck.
I think it spirals outward from theme. I think the fact that if you choose a theme, if you find what you like, a good example would be the dinosaur deck that I built recently. I knew I wanted dinosaurs. I knew I was going to start with that, but that was only the starting place. The next thing I had to do was find things that supported it. So the first thing about dinosaurs is tend to be expensive. Well, what do I do to make them less expensive and easier to cast?
Right.
So let me find things that then reduced cost reducers. The next thing after cost reducers, well, I need to make sure that I hit my land drops. So what is going to synergize with that? There are dinosaurs that have enrage mechanics that when they take a little bit of damage, you get to search for a land.
Right.
So let's stick one of those in there and let's start building outward. And I think you'll find just naturally it will start to spiral until you fill your 99 cards.
Right. So a tip that was given to me a long time ago when it came to deck building, before there was like game theories, before there were templates or anything for deck building. Commander was new to the populace, and I started getting Magic. And one of the tips I was given for building a Commander deck is find your theme, find the win conditions that you want in your deck that fit your theme, then build down from there. Ask yourself the questions: how are you going to play this? How are you going to get these out? What other things are going to combo off the way you want them to trigger with your themes and abilities, and work down from that. So when you play the game, look at your, this is where mana curve comes in play. Is like, look at your mana curve. So when you play the game, you can basically kind of walk through your plays theoretically when you play test your deck and stuff to see how fast or how slow your deck's going to be, how well it's going to perform, and what combos are going to work well. Because sometimes we look at a card like Repulsive Mutation and we're like, this card's awesome, but it's only awesome if you have a creature on board. If you don't have a creature on board, it's just nothing.
Well, when I made my Tortoise deck, I knew the theme I wanted to go with was not actually what Tortoise wanted. Tortoise wants to attack and steal.
Right.
I went against that, and I went with the theme of +1 counters. I want to just build them as quick as build them as big as possible, as quick as possible. Use him mostly to block with.
Right.
Then I had other stuff in there to give him like toxic. So if he does get big, he does attack, he can take somebody out.
Goddess is big. and he's like he's a Voltron commander. So looking at him as a Voltron build, that would fit his theme, and you can build from there. In fact, one of the cards I got for you is a Voltron themed card for Tortoise, even though you tore the deck apart.
Oh, it's mostly still together.
but anyways, your deck needs to be completely revamped anyways if you're going to keep it.
Yeah, definitely.
It
was AI built mostly.
AI built. AI's building everything, everybody. Pretty soon YouTubers are not going to exist.
Hey, you never know.
I think they're never going to replace that because AI is only going to give you ideas that already exist. There's not going to be necessarily room for innovation, or you need to be careful about how you prompt the AI. I think it's a wonderful thing, and I think if it's used as a tool, but if you use it only as a crutch, and I'm not saying this towards you, Hillbilly, or towards what you did or whatever and stuff.
Right.
I'm just saying in general, you should use it as a tool and use it to prompt you to have new ideas. I think that's where the innovation comes in.
Well, I'm just going to say what Neil deGrasse Tyson said, and don't quote me verbatim, but he said AI only works with everything in a box that it's given, and that's the only thing it can work with.
Yeah.
And that box may be huge, it might be small, varying on what you're working with, but
what happens is the more it takes shortcuts and it will establish a route, and it will send more and more things that route, the more it's like the law of large numbers. You're going to wind up with these pathways that are very narrow or very wide because lots of people are traveling them if they're asking the same questions. So it's important for you, whoever you are, to ask them in more unique ways or getting more specific answers by asking better prompts.
Right. And as you play Magic more, and play in your meta, if you have a meta or if you play online, whatever, you kind of understand your play group or your players. The more you get involved with the kind of things your opponents play most of the time, you kind of get to work around that when you're building your themes and deck and synergies. You're like, okay, well, I'm doing this. I know people play card example A, and they're like, okay, the one thing I can put in my deck to go against it is this. Now, is there like a synergistic version of that I can put in my deck, or am I just stuck with that? And sometimes that's how you can build a deck. You can work around the process because unlike AI, your brain will be able to think about things that have happened, will happen, and possibly can happen.
Right. Now, when I made my Codas deck through AI, I mainly just did that for experiments. And that's all it was. I mean, it was just an experiment because, I got to think, we got AI now. I wonder if AI can make a good deck or not.
But how's that whole thing on topic?
Well, we was talking about AI.
No, we weren't. We're off the topic of AI. Didn't you just hear what I said?
Well, I'm behind. I'm slow.
You're not the only one, Hillbilly.
I'm going to bring it back around here then by asking something that you wrote in here about that you look for. You personally look for rules that work off the basics of the game.
Right.
When you're talking about that, I'm curious as to whether you're basing that on how you play the game or the pods that you play in, because I think there's a distinction there between how I might personally view the game and want to interact with it compared to how I respond in the meta that I'm in.
All right. So to answer your question, when I look for synergies and things that fit the theme of basic game, things like attacking, drawing, things that you're naturally going to do in the game, that I learned by myself. Like, not just because of a meta, but like when you look for cards, you don't want to force the theme in there. You don't want to have to force it. So when you get a card that says, like, whenever you draw your second card at each turn or draw a card, put a +1 counter. There are cards like that. There's cards like in mill that say whenever you draw a card, target player mills 2 cards, and so on and so forth. And there's other cards like that. Sometimes when you find themes that just do what you're naturally going to do, it takes less babysitting on the card. Even though it might be removed, but it takes less babysitting, so it's easier to focus on the game that you're playing. There are other things that are going to happen, other things that will trigger. Like ETBs are like one of the most mindless things you can do until you have like 10 of them on board. well, 10 ETB triggers. You know, like creatures entering the battlefield is one of the things I should have added on there, but I didn't. But like there are different abilities that are static that are more babysat kind of things. You got abilities that trigger off life loss. Those are natural things that are going to happen in the game. So when you do stuff like that, and especially in certain themes, it just makes the gameplay more easier. You can calculate mentally what's going to happen later on, or prepare for something to happen. Because when you play a card that kind of makes you the threat, but it's a really good synergistic card, you can judge your game and base your game around that.
So for a new player,
hang on. Tortoise said something that I want to pick up on that I think that we may take for granted because we've played Magic for a long time. Mm-hmm. When you're building a deck, mm-hmm. you need to know your strengths and weaknesses as a player. Mm-hmm. And what I mean is this. I know people who are very, very good at Magic, like at playing Magic, who are very bad at keeping up with triggers.
Right.
If you are someone who that person is, do not build a deck that requires you to track a bunch of triggers.
Hey. I feel attacked. I feel attacked, sir. I'm kidding.
Here's why. It doesn't matter how synergistic your deck is. If you are missing half of the stuff that you're supposed to be doing, the deck isn't going to work, right? And I think we as experienced players don't think about that, right? Like people, if you're bad at tracking triggers, I highly recommend not playing a theme that's about ETB triggers. Well, because you're going to forget these things.
People are going to build decks based on what they want, right? They're going to try to build decks. They'll learn if they like them or don't. You know, if someone can't keep track of triggers, they're not going to know that right away until they actually try to play the deck and realize how complicated it is.
I think the point there is then to maybe warn people away from that so they don't spend their money on that and wind up having a bad time. I think is it. I definitely get what you're saying, Tortoise, that you're going to find yourself drawn to patterns of play. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I was asking you and stuff was when you're building your deck and what do you think for a beginner is best? Because are you attracted to specific lines of play or are you trying to jam them in there? Are you trying to make these things fit? Because people tell me card draw is good. So I'm going to stick all the card draw in there without really knowing it.
So my line of thinking, because like there's some decks I barely have any draw in, you know what I'm saying? Like my Rafika the mini deck, like has to work on combat for draw, and I don't always get that in. But there's some decks that have plenty of draw, and there's some decks that don't. You're gonna find this out for your deck anyways. But my thesis is, if it's as easy as breathing air as much as possible, you should do it. But like I was explaining, like things can like earlier. Like you can have like ETB triggers that go on the stack, but like sometimes it does get too complicated when you have like 10 things triggered off in the ETB. You know, like my wife had issues with that. Hillbillies had issues with the timey-wimey deck.
Oh,
yes.
What a nightmare.
I just assembled that deck. Too many dang on triggers. And I said, the heck with it. This deck is going apart.
Right. So, but like one thing you can't really talk about when it comes to deck building, right, is telling people what kind of deck to build, right? Like Rayman might not be able to withstand, and this is hypothetical, not reality, might not be able to withstand a suspend deck, right? He might not have the mind for a suspend deck. Well, until he tries to play it or he thinks that it might be too tricky, that's up on him. I can't tell him not to do that. I just can give him the advice of building a deck. You know.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite way. There are certain people who I would say don't build this deck. I'm just going to flat out tell you don't build this deck.
But you don't know everybody.
No. Correct, right? Yeah. I don't know everybody, right? But that requires some self-reflection as a player, right? If you've played a few games, very few people are going to play like 2 games of Commander and then set out to build their own deck.
Right.
Most people aren't going to do that. Most people are going to play a pre-con a few times. They're going to borrow a deck off of a friend or a family member and get a few games in. And you need to use that information to figure out the kinds of play patterns that you like, what you don't like, more importantly, and what things you struggle with. Now, it doesn't mean you'll always struggle with that. Triggers or something gets very tricky, and you'll get much better at it as you go on, especially if you're playing in paper, because you don't have one of the big differences between like playing on Arena and playing in paper is you can't miss triggers on Arena. It doesn't let you miss triggers.
Right.
In paper, there's nothing to keep you from missing triggers, right? You just have to like, oh, well, dang, I've got to remember this trigger. But there are certain people who I would absolutely tell, do not build that kind of deck yet.
Right.
Take some time, figure out what's going on, and then try to build a little more complicated deck.
Right. Well, so if you're talking from a brand new player perspective, that makes sense. But when you're talking about,
because that's who these are supposed to be for, right? Like we're supposed to be helping people who are new to build new decks, right?
This is not about like the newest people. This is about people in general.
Yeah.
Well, that's difficult because the advice that I would give, the advice I would give Mugenful if he was trying to build a deck is very different than the advice that I would give to Balt if he was trying to build a deck.
Right.
Well, that's
trying to make generic advice is very difficult.
That's what I'm saying. But like also at the same time, the other day we just had a conversation about not having worries about asking people for help in deck building and stuff like that. And there shouldn't be any films like that because look, I don't expect someone like Mugenful, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. I don't expect someone like Mugenful to put a deck together and be boss at it right away.
Right.
You know,
that's probably my only weakness. I know how to play Magic. I'm okay at playing Magic, but my weakness is building a deck from scratch.
Yeah. Kenny Checker said theme and synergy are definitely deck building skills that are learned over time. That's right.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. All this is doing is trying to push people more into the thought process of thinking of theme. But like, great. But like, and I'm not negating you, Rayman. Like, I'm not trying to negate you and say you're wrong or anything. You're right. New players need their handheld a little different, you know. But that's why we suggest picking up precons, except the timey-wimey precon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, you know, picking up precons are pretty good. Napcore says playing your deck is part of building it as well. That's right, play testing for sure.
That is true.
You know, and we talked about that earlier today. Because you when you play the deck, you're gonna find out some cards don't work as good as you want them to. Some cards are better than you want them to be. Some cards just don't function the way you think about it, and that's part of it is playing your deck.
I actually had a conversation last night when I was supposed to be working, getting ready for the RCQ on Sunday. But one of our players came in who has been playing for a couple years, and they feel like their decks are lagging behind locally. Mm-hmm. And we sat down on the couches in front of the stage and just had a conversation for like 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I learned two things from that conversation. One, there are definitely people who are watching these, either the streams or the VODs, and are listening to what we say, trying to implement things that we're talking about, which is awesome. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think something that we need to that we know, but we need to remind people is Magic is like anything else in life. You get out what you put in, and I'm not talking about money. We're not talking about money here. We've talked about money before. We've established that you can build $60 decks that will raffle stomp $4,000 decks. It happens. It happens. We're not talking about money. We're talking about the other things. The research into the decks, play testing the deck. If you sit down at a table with a deck that you built and spend an hour on building,
right,
and the person across from you has been working on this deck for a year, you're probably not winning, right? They've just had more time into it. And what really got me thinking about this was the other night, and I don't think he's going to care that I say this. Tom messaged me after the last game that I played with you guys, and he messaged me talking about the blue-white deck that he was playing and how he had been working on it for literally years at this point. Mm-hmm. And you could tell, right? You could tell that the deck that Tom was playing was his baby, right? You could tell that was a deck that he had put a lot of time into, a lot of effort into. There were no dead card draws. Every card he drew was something he would want to play. And like I said, Magic is like everything else in life. You're going to get out of it what you put into it.
Right.
Yep.
If you put a lot of time and effort into your deck, it's going to perform better than if you didn't.
Mhm.
And that's a difficult thing to grasp, right? Like to truly not to understand, but to take to heart.
Right.
That
Or
no
there's
matter
another-
how much you throw into it, if you don't put the time into it, the deck just isn't going to function as well.
There's another saying that we say around my community: Magic Gathering is easy to pick up, but hard to master. And that's one of the things that the more work you put into it, the more you get mastering it. Some people have that charm where they learn the game really fast and do really good. Some people struggle with it, but with a patient mind, right? A patient mind, you can build your community up, and that's what we're here for. So, shameless plug here. Again, if you want to get into our series of deck building in Discord, there it is, free. Download the PDFs, read them, take them one bite at a time. Don't try to envelop them all at once, but they're there and they're all approved. People like them, and these VODs are out here just to compliment them,
And some people are just naturally talented at Magic, right? Like I've met people who sit down at a table, and it's they've watched a couple of games. They kind of understand. They have a grasp of how the game works, how you tap mana, instants, and sorceries. They understand the basics, and they sit down, and you're like, "Are you sure that you've never played Magic before?" Right? Some people are just really naturally gifted at games, right? It is a talent, and people hate that it's that. But being good at games is a talent, and there are some people who are just really naturally talented. But natural talent will only take you so far.
That's right.
Right. To give us a sports analogy to this, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal are two of the greatest NBA players of all time. They both played for the Lakers, but they notoriously had a beef. Right. It was infamous that Shaq and Kobe, after the split up, didn't get along, but nobody knew for the longest time why that was.
Right.
And before Kobe died a few years ago, he told us why it was, and it's because he knew that Shaquille O'Neal could have been the greatest player to ever pick up a basketball, but he wasn't, because he was so naturally gifted. He wouldn't put the time in to get better, and it burned Kobe up, because Kobe was the guy who was the first one in the gym and the last one out. He worked out 6 hours a day to get better, to become, the best player on earth. And he looks at Shaq and he goes, "This guy could be that. This guy, if he just worked a little bit, could be that." And it burned Kobe up, and it bothered him, right? So you can have a lot of natural talent, but you still have to work. I build decks constantly, and I'm always rest in peace, Kobe. I miss him so much.
Oh yeah.
I'm constantly building decks, but I'm also reading stuff online and looking at cards. Any chance I get, any downtime, I'm just like digging into Magic, trying to find things, and it makes a difference. Like my skills.
Question for you.
Improved a lot.
Quick question for you. I want to go back to what was your advice for the player that felt like their decks were lagging behind?
So I told them that they were already doing what we've been talking about here. So I told them, I'm like, the main thing is you just come out and play whenever you can. If you feel like your deck is really lagging behind, then talk to some people, talk to me. We got a few people here. Play a game against some precons. These games are going to last longer. You're going to get to see more of your cards. If we know going in, hey, look, you're wanting to test this deck out, we'll play a precon or play like a really low power deck. That way it gives more time, and you can see more interactions, and you can see where the deck is struggling. And then once you know that, because I was asking, I'm like, okay, well, what's, why isn't the deck in your mind? Why isn't the deck keeping up? And he didn't have a real good answer to that question, which was okay. It's fine. Sure. A lot of people don't analyze things like that, right? So I told him, like, come out and play. Let us know that you're wanting to test out the deck. You're wanting to see stuff. and we'll do whatever we can to help facilitate that.
Right.
It's the advice I would give anybody. If you think your deck isn't working, play it more. Find out why it isn't working, right? And if you've played it but you know why it's not working, well then we can make some card suggestions or something. There's always a step to take, but I need to know why you think it isn't working, because if there's 25 people here, I don't know what's going on in any game outside of mine and the one probably at the table next to me.
You got it.
So it's really hard to keep track of everybody's decks. And what's
It really helps if you can reach someone at their level,
Yep.
So like I said, don't be afraid to ask for help if you need help. Never be afraid. That's one thing we covered. But today was a good topic. I think we covered a lot on theme of synergy. Yes, it's really hard to cover a topic when you're not just focused on one group of people. But but I think we did a good job talking about things. Like I said, PDF, Discord, check it out. Reach out to us, Rayman, Hillbilly, or I, if you have a question, or to Paul if you can.
Yeah, if you really want some salt, talk to me.
Right. But with that, we have to get to the end step.
Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the creep.
Too much to take. So it's lit. EP30, are you game? Rise, creep, rise, building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon, no one can bring us down. EP30 in the house, we own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
Woo, woo, woo. Everybody, it's time to get to that shield section, and we got to get through that quick. So we're going to start off with Mugenful to say his goodbyes.
Hey, everybody. I don't got much for today. I just hope you have a good day and have a good time.
All right. It was a good time. That's right. With that, we're going to roll over to Lone Wolf.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on, and just help support everybody here. Like the stream, and just be kind to everybody, and let's keep our channels growing.
Whoa, sounds good.
Thanks, Wolf.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. With that, we're going to roll over to Rayman.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me. Thanks for everybody who watched. We have a lot going on. To go over it quickly. We'll have Commander tonight. We'll have F&M tomorrow night. We have Commander in karaoke on Saturday. We have our RCQ on Sunday. So we have a ton going on. Check us out at Mr. B's Game Lounge. We're on social media, so you can check us out what's going on there. We're on YouTube. 23-hour break. See you mañana.
Yeah, well, links are in the description below if you want to check out the store's website stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. We're going to go to Hillbilly.
Hey, everybody, I'll make this real quick. 2 o'clock this afternoon, I'm going to do a stream playing some Arena. And I got a couple of decks brewed up for this afternoon. That's all I got planned for today.
All right, cool. This is Super Fast Tortoise. We're going to try to get a Bracket 2 game on tonight if we can. If we cannot, well, we'll just hang out again. But yeah, with that, I'll be at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I want to thank everybody for being here. Rayman, Grandpa Hillbilly, Michael, Lone Wolf, Mugenful, who disappeared. And everybody, you guys rock, you guys rule. Thank you for hanging out with us. I want to remind you that you're awesome, you're loved. So thinking about you. And if you can, and do something positive for someone else today, because he might be the change of motivation they need to get up and have a good day. With that, I want to thank you, my channel members and subscribers, for supporting the channel the way you do. And today, we're just going to skip to the main intro.
Check out darkritual.site.
Darkritual.site. Oh, sorry, that skipped.
I wasn't going to say anything. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I thought you were.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to